The teaser for the next installment of the YRF Spy Universe just got released, and believe me when I say this, I do notice YRF has addressed some of its previous user feedback. But YRF is once again doing what it has mastered over the years, the copy-paste strategy. Let me explain. This is a clip from the 1990 French movie La Femme Nikita, a criminal convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment who turns to being a professional assassin for the government. And this is the clip from Alpha, a child trained to be an assassin and given her first contract on her 18th birthday. Now, to be fair, the storyline is a little different. Here it's an adult criminal, here it's an innocent child, here it's a government agent, here it might just be a villain. But with this little comparison, the internet is already buzzing with roast videos. Then there is Ballerina, the John Wick spin-off, which also follows a girl trained in a brutal assassin academy from childhood. So between La Femme Nikita and Ballerina, the internet practically has two different roast scripts already written. And the funny part is that the comparison with Dhurandhar hasn't even started. Now let's be clear, it would be unfair if the movie is solely judged with the lens of Dhurandhar. Which is why in this video, I will talk about the good and the bad aspects of the teaser, and to keep the review unbiased, I won't do any comparison with Dhurandhar on the technical aspects, except for the box office impact, which I will cover later in the video. So with that context, let's get started with my initial reaction, the good parts. The teaser opens by giving a very clear origin story. We see Alia Bhatt being raised as a highly trained assassin. Her father is played by Bobby Deol. He acts as a ruthless mentor. The teaser shows her 18th birthday where her father doesn't give her a normal present. He hands her the dossier for the first official kill. That sets a very dark tone right away. I actually like this setup. It builds a gritty foundation for her character. The hand-to-hand combat feels raw and heavy. It doesn't look like those floaty wire stunts we usually get. The background music also deserves a mention. The heavy synth beats sound very modern. It matches the dark tone they are going for. The camera work in the action scenes does try something new. They use close and tight angles during the fist fights, and this choice makes the violence feel personal. It's a step away from the massive explosion-heavy set pieces we saw in Pathaan and War 2. A grounded approach is exactly what the spy universe needs right now. But a grounded approach only works if the actors look completely convincing, which brings us to the bad stuff. Or rather, I should say, questionable. The biggest glaring issue is the complete absence of Sharvari. She is billed as the co-lead of this movie, yet the studio decided to hide her completely from the first teaser. Now there are two ways to look at this one. One, that the makers intentionally want her role a secret and we might see glimpses of her when the trailer comes. Or the makers simply want to project that this is an Alia Bhatt film and she is the main star. Rest everyone are supporting actors. It is genuinely confusing because it makes you wonder if they are hiding a massive plot twist or if they just poorly cut the teaser. Then we have Bobby Deol. He looks incredibly stiff, but he's putting on a Haryanvi accent that sounds completely fake. I don't know what is this obsession with the Haryanvi accent. If you genuinely want that dialect to be done right, cast Randeep Hooda. He speaks fluent Haryanvi and is a damn good actor. Bobby Deol needed a better dialect coach, period. The color grading and editing choices look strange. A few shots look like a high-budget soft drink commercial instead of a gritty spy thriller. The lighting in the teaser looks too bright at times, which I feel should be dark and atmospheric. If you are making a movie about underground assassins, the visual tone needs to match that danger. Instead, everything looks very glossy. This glossy finish clashes with the brutal story they are trying to tell, and this is precisely why the audience is split on this teaser. It sort of creates a weird disconnect, and I hope to see more substance in the full trailer. Next up, the cast and the rumored cameos. The core cast has Alia Bhatt and Sharvari leading the charge. This is a big deal for both of them. Alia is stepping completely out of her comfort zone. We are used to seeing her in heavy emotional dramas, but taking on a full-blown action franchise is a massive risk. If she nails this, it changes her career trajectory completely. Sharvari is the big mystery here. Like I mentioned before, she is missing from the teaser. My guess is she's playing a rival assassin or someone from the same training program. Maybe they start as enemies and team up later. It's a classic buddy cop formula disguised as a spy thriller. Then we have Bobby Deol playing the antagonist. He's obviously riding the massive wave of popularity from Animal. The studio clearly wanted to cash in on his villain era, but playing a menacing mute villain is very different from delivering dialogue-driven threats. The teaser shows him struggling to find the right balance. His dialogue delivery feels very forced, and I hope the actual movie proves me wrong. We also have Anil Kapoor part of this film, meaning that we will see the influence of Raw and a possible intersection of Raw and the Alpha program. Anil Kapoor brings a lot of gravitas to this kind of a role, and he can deliver exposition without making it sound boring. Before talking about the director Shiv Ravel, here is a fun trivia fact for you.
Bolo, tell.
Like Alpha is coming out. You know the trivia in that? Bhaiya's first film was directed by Rahul Ravel. His son Shiv Ravel, his first feature film, I'm in it. And
Lovely.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Shiv Ravel, who directed the highly acclaimed Netflix series The Railwayman, is the director, and I feel as a director he will do a fine job. There can be questions about the story, the treatment, the spy genre itself, but at least I am hopeful the direction will be good. Now let's get into the cameo rumors because things are getting wild. The Spy Universe relies heavily on crossovers. Reports strongly suggest Hrithik Roshan has already shot a cameo as Agent Kabir. This makes sense from a business perspective. The studio needs a familiar face to anchor this new entry. A Kabir appearance would connect Alpha directly to the events of war. But the rumors don't stop here. There is a lot of talk about a second secret cameo. Shah Rukh Khan recently tweeted his support for the teaser. He praised Alia for breaking bones and looking tough. That single tweet sent social media into overdrive. Everyone is hoping for a Pathaan cameo. Adding Pathaan to the mix would guarantee a huge opening weekend. But there is also a danger here. If a movie needs two massive superstars to show up just to keep the audience interested, the core story might be weak. I always feel that the cameos should be the dessert, not the main course. The studio needs to be careful here. If the audience only cares about Kabir and Pathaan walking through the door, they won't care about Alia and Sharvari. The movie needs to stand on its own 2 feet. It can't just be a waiting room for older heroes to show up. Let us also consider the pressure on the supporting cast. The villains and side characters in the Spy Universe usually get forgotten quickly. John Abraham in Pathaan was a rare exception. Bobby Deol has very big shoes to fill. He needs to bring real menace to the screen. If his character is just a generic bad guy with a bad accent, the emotional weight of Alia fighting a father figure falls completely flat. The entire cast has to operate at a very high level to make this script work. Now coming up to the potential storylines, and this is stemming from a lot of different unconfirmed reports coming in. The biggest surprise here is the writing credit. The story for Alpha is credited to Uday Chopra.
Hello. Hi.
Yes, you heard that right, and this has caused a laughing riot on social media. The actor from the Dhoom franchise who did write the stories for the Dhoom movies is back in the mix as a writer. I honestly can't comment on this one because we all know how Dhoom 3 turned out. Based on the teaser and the leaks, we know Alpha refers to a secret training program. It's an academy designed to create the perfect Indian soldiers. They take children and then turn them into weapons. Alia gets trapped into this system from a very young age. This brings up the classic mentor and mentee trope. Bobby Deol trains her, shapes her, and then likely betrays her. The main theory here is that Alpha program itself is corrupt. Bobby Deol is not just a harsh teacher, he's running a rogue operation. Alia will figure this out and decide to burn the whole system down. That's where Sharvari probably comes in. She might be another top student in the program. They will first have to fight each other before realizing the real enemy is their boss. This setup gives us a very solid revenge plot. A simple revenge plot is exactly what this franchise needs. What we absolutely don't need is another forced geopolitical romance. The YRF Spy Universe loves the India and Pakistan love story angle. We saw it in Tiger and we saw it in Pathaan. It's tired and outdated. The audience is exhausted by that specific trope. Alpha needs to stay away from international diplomacy and focus on personal stakes. The story should be about survival and identity. A girl raised to be a machine, realizing she has her own free will. That's a compelling narrative. Keep the conflict focused and personal. If the story gets too bloated with saving the world tropes, it will lose all its emotional weight. The best spy movies always bring the conflict back to a personal betrayal. There are also whispers about a rogue faction within the Indian intelligence agency. This would explain why Kabir or Pathaan might need to step in later. If the Alpha program is a Black Ops project gone wrong, the official agents would have to clean up the mess. This ties the new characters into the existing world very neatly. It gives everyone a logical reason to interact, but again, the heavy lifting has to be done by the new leads. The story must focus on Alia dismantling the house that built her. That is a story worth watching. Coming to the final point, box office impact and the future of the YRF Spy Universe. To be honest, both these points are interconnected. The future of the YRF Spy Universe heavily depends on how Alpha performs at the box office. Post the failure of War 2, the standalone spy movie with Junior NTR was cancelled. Tiger vs Pathan, Pathan 2, Tiger 4, all these projects are either shelved or cancelled. I don't think, and I honestly don't want, Hrithik Roshan doing another movie in this spy universe. And seeing how the budget feud happened between YRF and Filmcraft for Krish 4, I doubt Hrithik is doing a YRF movie anytime soon. Which leaves with Alpha, and this is where the comparison with Dhurandhar will hurt the most. What Dhurandhar achieved, both with respect to box office and being a genuinely good film, hitting those astronomical numbers will be a challenge. The reported budget for Alpha is close to 200 crores, so the first challenge will be to recover that money, because YRF can't afford to lose, especially after the loss in War 2. YRF did turn down 215 crore direct release to OTT deal from Netflix, so I hope that decision pays off. It shows they have immense confidence in the final product, or maybe it is just pure arrogance. We'll find out soon enough. If Alpha opens poorly, that rejected Netflix deal will haunt the studio executives for years. To break even, Alpha needs to do massive numbers in its first weekend. It has to rely on positive word of mouth. Alia Bhatt has a strong pull at the box office, but female-led action movies still face an uphill battle in the mass circuits. The marketing team has to work overtime to convince the single-screen audiences to show up. They need a hit song. They need trailer cuts that highlight the raw action. They need to weaponize those rumored cameos to build hype. If the movie crosses the break-even mark, the spy universe survives to fight another day. If it crashes, it might be the final nail in the coffin for the entire franchise. The entire industry is watching closely. The theatre owners are also praying for this movie to work. The multiplexes need a massive hit to recover from a very slow summer season. If Alpha delivers, it will bring the crowds back to the big screens. The entire ecosystem of distributors and theatre chains is banking on this single weekend. July 3rd is going to be a very tense day for Yash Raj Films. The social media reviews will start pouring in by the morning shows. The first few hours of public reaction will dictate the entire lifetime collection of the movie. Audiences today are ruthless. If the movie is bad, the memes will destroy its momentum by Friday evening. The pressure is completely on the director and the core cast to deliver a flawless theatrical experience.
You're goddamn right.
That is my take on the Alpha teaser, a film with real potential trapped inside a risky formula that the audience is starting to see through. But hey, these are just my theories and I want to hear from you guys. Are you excited for July 3rd, or has the copy-paste strategy finally run out of patience? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already and check out our latest video on Bobby Deol's comeback right here. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.